We are back with a brand new video. What is good, you guys? In today's video, we're going to be reacting to Bleacher Report's article called "One Player That Every Team Needs to Trade in This 2023 Calendar Year in the NBA." So without further ado, man, shout out to Andy Bailey for this article posted 5 days ago. We're going to be reacting to it. So make sure you guys, sit back, relax, stay tuned until the end of the video. And yeah, thank you guys all for 200 subs. We're killing it right now. Like we're already up to 226 or 225 last time I checked. On the road to 1K. We all know 1K is the goal right now. So yeah, go hit the like button, subscribe if you guys are new to the channel, and leave your comment section. Leave your comments in the comment section as to like what player you guys want to see from each team getting traded. So we can get right into it without further ado. And we start off with the Atlanta Hawks, and John Collins is the name. I'm not going to spend too much time on some of the obvious ones. John Collins, we all know, has been on the trade market like for like 3-4 years now. Like he's been like, his name has always been brought up, and it's just time to go, bro. It's time to move on. The Hawks have to do something because they just lost to the Lakers last night without AD, and it wasn't even a close game. They lost by like 20. And a change has to be made. I think a coaching change is inevitable. Nate McMillan, I think, will get fired. I think he's the coach that's most likely to get, canned right now. But John Collins also does have to get traded because his name has been in rumors for a long time right now, and he's not really playing up to his talent right now. So yeah, John Collins for sure. Moving on to the Boston Celtics, Danilo Gallinari. This kind of makes sense because he's going to be out for with the majority of the year. He's probably out for the season. Low-key, let me see if they say his timeline. Yeah, he can't really play the season, so because he tore his ACL. So yeah, I mean, trading him would make sense because you could get a guy that is going to be able to play this year, and that will just bolster your depth. So yeah, that makes sense. I like Gallinari as a trade option. Brooklyn Nets, Cam Thomas. Yeah, free Cam. Obviously they're rolling right now. They're on a 12-game winning streak, but Cam Thomas, I would say, yeah, I mean, like, he'd probably be one of the candidates low-key because he has some value because Cam Thomas is a scorer. He's a bucket, and a lot of teams who need some scoring, like especially like off the bench, would love him. He doesn't really get PT on the Nets, which is why I think they're saying they should trade him. Let me see their reasoning real quick. Yeah, they could use size, correct, and Cam Thomas is not the best defender. Yeah, he's struggling to crack the rotation because he's not a good defender, and he's very streaky, I guess, but I just think he just needs some consistent run because he's very, very good when he gets minutes. So Cam Thomas for sure, 100%. If not for Cam Thomas, I would say maybe getting rid of Joe Harris's contract. You already have Seth Curry, so I don't know if you need Joe Harris. And you could probably trade him for someone who can, give you more size and spacing as well, who can space the floor, but also do it when he's a lot taller and bigger than Joe Harris. So he would be my other player, but Cam Thomas is not bad. Hornets, Terry Rozier. Shout out to Scary Terry. He led the Hornets to beat the Bucks last night. He went crazy. I do think they got to move on though. I was gonna say Gordon Hayward before Terry Rozier, but Terry Rozier would definitely be up there as far as the number of players that the Hornets should move on from. Gordon Hayward is one of them. Even Kelly Oubre, because Kelly Oubre is a free agent. He's playing extremely well right now, so his value is extremely high. So you probably want to sell high on Kelly Oubre while you can before, I don't know if you want to lose him for nothing. So Kelly Oubre is an option. Terry Rozier is an option, but I would go with Gordon Hayward before any of them just because his contract is ridiculously, pricey, and he is almost always injured. So yeah, I would go with Gordon Hayward, but I would not mind Terry Rozier at all. Nikola Vucevic for the Chicago Bulls kind of makes sense. The Bulls are very interesting. I think they should try to blow it up though. So Vucevic, DeMar, and everyone can get traded, to be honest, because I just don't think the ceiling of this team is just not high at all. I know they beat the Sixers last night. Shout out to Zach LaVine for the absolute masterpiece he put on last night with his 8 or 10 threes or 11 threes or 8 threes or whatever it was. Yeah, Vucevic makes sense. If you don't want to trade DeMar right now or anybody else, but yeah, I would say Vucevic. He's also a free agent. Yeah, that makes sense. Cleveland Cavaliers, Karis LeVert. Karis LeVert is very interesting, man. I think he's very talented, but for some reason just has not really been like consistent. Like Karis LeVert is like either very hot or very cold. Like he'll drop 20 a night and then he'll drop like 2 the next night. It's like very up and down. So I guess like more consistency off the bench would be like, you know, sought after. And he's not like the best defender, so that makes sense. I wouldn't mind Karis LeVert. Dallas Mavericks, JaVale McGee. I mean, you could pick a lot of players. I don't know what I just clicked on. You can pick a lot of players for the Mavericks, not just JaVale McGee. But JaVale McGee is like, yeah, they do have to move on. I would say like Dwight Powell, like one of the centers, because obviously it's not going to be Wood, so it's going to have to be either between Powell and McGee. Maybe getting off Bertans' contract if you want to. Apart from that, like I don't know what else they could really move. Tim Hardaway Jr. potentially, like his contract is pretty big. Reggie Bullock, like. But yeah, I like you could pick a lot from the Mavericks, so it's kind of like it's up to you. But JaVale McGee is fine. Moving on, I keep clicking on DoorDash ads because I'm trying to scroll down. Bleacher Report be better. Denver Nuggets, Zeke Nnaji. This is interesting. This is very interesting because Zeke Nnaji, I actually like Zeke Nnaji's game. I actually really liked him at Arizona, but like. The problem is he's just not a good defender. And, you know, DeAndre Jordan is really getting all those backup center minutes because he plays with a lot more energy than Zeke Nnaji, even though Zeke Nnaji is more skilled offensively. Anybody else that I could think of, I'm not sure. Like, I don't know if you want to trade away like KCP or like anybody else like that. Definitely not trading away Bones. Yeah, Zeke Nnaji might have to be it. And the Denver Nuggets, like, I would say, like, they probably shouldn't do much because, like, they're playing extremely well right now. So, like, them and the Celtics and, like, these teams that are rolling, like, they shouldn't have to make a trade. Detroit Pistons, Bojan Bogdanovic. I agree with this. I'm a big believer in selling high. And Bojan Bogdanovic is, you know, he's playing the best basketball of his career right now. So, like, you know, it's either between him and Saddiq Bey. Saddiq Bey is also another player. Just because he's been up and down. I know he just hit a game winner. Shout out to Zeke, but between him and Bogey, or Bojan, I think Bogey is Bogdanovic. But maybe they call both of them Bogey. I don't know. Bojan, I think, is a viable option though because, like I said, he's playing extremely well right now. You don't know how long he's gonna keep this up. If this is gonna be like a consistent thing, so trading him would not be a bad option. If you get a first round pick, maybe even 2 first round picks. I think their asking price was like a first and like a young player or another first. So. That's not a bad haul for Bogey. I don't know why I keep saying Bogey, but Bojan. But Alec Burks as well. I forgot about Alec Burks. Okay, I just read Alec Burks right here. Alec Burks is fine too. I just think that Alec Burks is just like a very solid backup point guard. So I don't really know if you want to give him up. I mean, I would love Alec Burks like on any team though. Like I would love Alec Burks on the Heat. He'd just be a very steady point guard for us. But moving on, Golden State, they got James Wiseman. I mean, that makes sense. James Wiseman. You know, he's been in and out of the team really. He's been playing with the G League a lot. Like, you know, for a number 2 overall pick, it's kind of been underwhelming. I know he had like a 30-point game this one time, but that was like mostly because like the Nets had taken their starters out because they were up by like 50. But James Wiseman, yeah, like he still definitely has value because he was picked so high. A team is going to take a chance on him. So if you want to get something that could help you contribute right now, he's not a bad option to give up. And yeah, I would probably say him before anybody else. So that makes sense. Moving on to the Houston Rockets, Eric Gordon. I mean, we've been saying this for I don't know how long right now. Eric Gordon just needs to go to a winning team. He just looks like there was this one clip from earlier in the season where 2 players were arguing on the bench and he didn't even care. Like he was just sitting there like cooling. Like he's just way too old for that team, bro. Like I kind of feel bad for him. Because he could be contributing on a winning team right now. Send him to a team, I don't know, like the Lakers who need some shooting. Like send him to a team like that. Especially because the Rockets are rebuilding. Yeah, I understand Eric Gordon for sure. Indiana Pacers, Myles Turner. You could either go Myles Turner or Buddy Hield here. Myles Turner makes sense. You know, another player who's been in the rumors for a while. He's also a free agent. I don't know if you want to extend him. Again, playing the best basketball of his career, selling high. I'm a big believer in selling high. So Myles Turner, definitely, you know, I think they should consider moving him because do you want to extend him in the offseason? Is he really part of your future? He's kind of like, he's not like young, he's not old, but he's like, what is he, like 26, 27, something like that. So I don't know if you want to give him an extension and he starts to regress his play. That happens to a lot of people. Once you give him the bag, like I know as a Heat fan, we gave Hassan Whiteside like $96 million over 4 years and he turned into nothing. But yeah, Myles Turner is an option for sure to move because he is a free agent. He's playing really well right now, selling high. Yeah, that makes sense. Rocco for the Clippers also kind of makes sense. Another player who's not really in the rotation. They could trade him for a big. I think the Clippers need a big, a backup big because Zubac, he's very good. He's very underrated, but like off the bench, they don't really have anyone. A backup center. Rocco, I mean, sometimes he's been playing small ball, but like we all know he's not really a center. So, yeah, like I think the thing about Rocco is that I think that, you know, they have so many forwards like Marcus Morris, Batum, Kawhi, obviously. Like playing Rocco, it's just not enough minutes there. So yeah, that moving him makes sense. The Clippers have to do something. Like they have to find some consistency because they're like they have really good moments and they have really like moments when you're like, are the Clippers really contenders? Like they have to make a move to like move the needle. You know what I'm saying? Lakers, Russell Westbrook. I don't even know if this is true now. Russ has been playing amazingly off the bench. Do you want to move Russ? Like, do you want to move Russ right now? Who else could you move? Let me try to think. I would say Patrick Beverly or Kendrick Nunn, one of the two. I don't think Russell. I think it's past trading Russell Westbrook. Don't mess up what you got. Like one of the good things this season has been Russell Westbrook's play off the bench. So don't mess that up. I know he's making $47 million, but still, if you want to salvage this team right now, trading Russell Westbrook is not the answer. I think you have to trade Pat Bev, you have to trade K Nunn, some of these other guys like, you know, maybe the Toscanos of the world or whatnot. But Russell Westbrook, we got to calm down because he's been playing extremely well off the bench, and I think it's time that people give him his respect. He might win Sixth Man of the Year. So yeah, Russell Westbrook, I disagree with this completely. Probably the first one that I disagree with, low-key, because this article has been really good. Danny Green for Memphis. We're back on agreeing, Andy Bailey. I think Danny Green should get traded as well because he's not played. Very similar to Gallinari. He's probably going to be in street clothes for the whole season, as you guys see him right here with his nice fit on. Yeah, I mean, like, you could just get a contributing player for him, so that makes sense. I'm pretty sure he was on like NBA Today, and like Brian Windhorst was like telling him to his face that you might get traded, and he was just like, "Oh, okay," like, like that was just funny to me. But yeah, Miami Heat, Duncan Robinson. I mean, like, as a Heat fan, yeah, that makes sense. D-Rob his contract is one of the worst in the NBA for sure. I don't know anybody's gonna want him though, so like we might just have to thug it out with this contract because like every trade we have a proposal for that involves him, it's gonna involve a first round pick going from us to the other team because a team is gonna want a first to be attached because his contract is so awful. I wouldn't mind Kyle Lowry getting traded. I said this on my main channel, like I'm just out on Kyle Lowry. I just don't think he's the answer especially for what we're paying him. Like he's just not really done enough in my opinion. And you know, yeah, him, Lowry are like the main two for sure. Anybody else that I can think of from the Heat? Honestly, like Dwayne Dedmon. We can trade Dwayne Dedmon for a bag of peanuts if we want to. We can waive him if we need to. Like I don't even know if he has any value, but so that might not even be a valid answer. But yeah, between those three for sure. But D-Rob definitely because his contract is ridiculously awful. So that makes sense. Milwaukee Bucks, Grayson Allen. I mean, they've been shopping him since the beginning of the season, so that also makes sense. Just trade for Jay Crowder, bro. Please do the swap. Grayson Allen for Jay Crowder or whatever it is, a 3-team trade. Because the Suns could use some shooting. The Suns could definitely use some shooting. D'Angelo Russell for the Timberwolves also makes sense. I would take D'Angelo Russell on the Heat. I don't know if the Timberwolves want Kyle Lowry, but hey, we could work something out, Minnesota. Like y'all could give us D'Lo. We'll take a flyer on him. You know, Kyle Lowry's he won't need the ball as much, so like he'll be fine playing without the ball. Anthony Edwards can get more of the scoring duties, and Kyle Lowry will just be setting up Rudy Gobert, spoon feeding him with alley-oops. So I think it'd be a good trade, bro. If we were to make like obviously you probably need like some draft capital because like the values are just not the same. D'Angelo Russell's a young player. He is on an expiring deal, but Kyle Lowry's contract is extremely big over the next 2 years, and he's like very old. So, but I would not mind a D'Lo Lowry swap in any way if I was the Heat. New Orleans Pelicans, Devontae Graham makes sense. Jose Alvarado is kind of taking over that backup point guard spot. And he's not really a 2 to me. So, I mean, I don't think I have to say much here. Evan Fournier for the Knicks, same thing. But Cam Reddish, though. Cam Reddish? Free Cam. I don't know. I mean, Evan Fournier also makes sense because of his contract, but I would say Cam Reddish first because Cam Reddish has literally been in rumors for like the past 2 years now. So, but yeah, I don't see. Every time I see Fournier, he's always on the bench. I don't see him playing at all. Probably because he can't defend and Tibbs loves defense. But yeah, Evan Fournier is a good option. He was replaced by Quentin Grimes. I'm pretty sure. Darius Bazley for the Thunder. I actually thought Bazley had a lot of potential. If y'all don't know, Bazley was supposed to go to Syracuse. He decommitted and went to the G League, I'm pretty sure. And then he went to the Thunder after. And like, I thought he had potential. Like, he reminds me, whenever I watch him play, like whenever I used to watch him play, like back maybe like a couple years ago, I was like, he plays exactly like how Lamar Odom plays. If you guys are familiar with Lamar Odom's game, he's very silky smooth left-handed player. Like, Darius Bazley is big, but he has guard-like skills, and for some reason, he just hasn't been able to put it together in OKC. So yeah, I think he needs to change the scenery for real. Especially with Chet being there, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's just another front court player they got to worry about. Orlando, Terrence Ross also makes sense. Terrence Ross is like, you know, he's a player that a lot of contending teams would love. 3 and D. Well, I don't know about the D part, but he's definitely a very good shooter and scorer. Defense might not be as advertised, but yeah, he's been on the trade market for a while, bro, and he's been with Orlando for like 6 years. It says right here. So, yeah, he's on an expiring deal, so this might be the year, like it says, that a deal finally materializes. Matisse Thybulle for Philly. Please trade Matisse Thybulle. He's just sitting on the bench, not doing anything. I know Doc Rivers last night. Y'all could have used him, Doc. I mean, Zach LaVine was getting wide open threes, and Matisse Thybulle was sitting on the bench, and you didn't even sub him in. I don't know. Yeah, Matisse Thybulle is definitely a player that probably should get traded soon as well. Another player who needs to change the scenery. Matisse Thybulle, if he just develops a shot, I think he'll be a very good player in this league. The only reason he's not getting minutes is because he literally cannot do anything offensively. Jay Crowder for the Suns. I mean, yeah, we can move on from this because this is probably the most obvious thing of the article. Nasir Little for the Blazers. Ooh, this is interesting. Like very, very low key, I would say Nurkic, because Nurkic, I'm not a fan of Nurkic's game. I don't like Nurkic's game at all. I just don't think a lot of people think he's like a top 10 center. I just don't think he's anywhere near. So I think they definitely have to upgrade on the center spot. But Nasir Little is also an option. Hasn't really been getting too many minutes. They have a lot more wings now. They got Josh Hart, Jeremy Grant, Gary Payton II. Yeah, I mean, Shaedon Sharpe as well. Like, yeah, that makes sense. He's only 22. I actually like Nasir Little a lot out of UNC. But yeah, it might be time for a change of scenery. Richaun Holmes, same thing. Sabonis is taking that center spot. And yeah, man, I mean, Richaun Holmes. I'm trying to see what else. Yeah, he's just a backup center at this point. The Clippers should go after Richaun Holmes. Do a Robert Covington and Richaun Holmes swap if that's possible. I don't know, something like that. Get a backup big, whoever needs a backup big. Just like, speaking of bigs, I don't know if he's going to be a backup big, but Jakob Poeltl, definitely a player that should be traded because he's on an expiring deal, and I think he's very underrated. I think he's so underrated. I think he's top 10 for sure at his position. Maybe maybe not for sure. I have to think about it. He'd probably be towards the bottom end of the top 10 if he was there, but at worst, he's like top 12, top 15. Like, at worst. He's definitely top 15, but at worst, he's top 12. So I would love Jakob Poeltl on like any team like that needs a center who can just do all the little things for you. Fred VanVleet for the Toronto Raptors makes sense. He's kind of been regressing this season. Hasn't really been the same player. His shooting splits are terrible. He's chucking a bunch of threes and they're not going in. Yeah, that definitely makes sense. That definitely adds up. They need a change for sure, Toronto, because they're just struggling right now. Rudy Gay for the Jazz also makes sense, and an aging player on a team that's trying to retool makes sense. And then Bradley Beal. Okay, Washington Wizards, Bradley Beal. I did not expect this, actually. I think they also should trade Bradley Beal because I think we all know, even fully healthy, this team's ceiling is a play-in. Like, it's a play-in team. They're not doing anything. Like, Why did they extend Bradley Beal to a max contract with worth $250 million over 5 years, a super max with a no trade clause? I have no idea. But I definitely agree with the sentiment that he has to get traded. Kyle Kuzma, another name. Like I said, a big believer in selling high. So Kyle Kuzma has been playing extremely well this season. But he's also, I'm pretty sure, a free agent. So he would be another name that I thought he was going to be the name that was going to be on this article. But Bradley Beal is another very, very interesting piece that a lot of teams would love. So yeah, please, Washington, just blow it up for God's sake and just get a top pick, bro. You guys are always picking like late lottery. Like, please get a top 5 pick this season. Just trade everybody you can. Just blow it up and get younger and just rebuild. But yeah, man, that's gonna be it for the video. Hopefully y'all enjoyed it. Make sure y'all drop a like, subscribe, and comment down below. Let me know who you guys think each team should trade. Again, this was very, very fun for me to record. Let me know down in the comment section below if you guys want me to like do any other, videos about different topics. I'll see y'all there as always, man. Have a nice day. Peace.